While Azure is creating my Kubernetes cluster, I'm going to trigger a PowerShell script that will build my 3 .NET Core application, create the Docker images, and publish the Docker images into an Azure Container Registry. The command line action is build and push, and I want to build and push to the container registry all my application. And now I'm going to give you a tour of the source code. I have 3 application or .NET project in my Visual Studio solution. The first application is named the simulator. This is the main loop of the console app. The simulator is a .NET Core console application that will run as a container and read a JSON file containing 50,000 donations and send them to a REST API endpoint using an HTTP post. The application executes 10 HTTP posts in parallel. As you can see here, I have 10 JSON files, each containing 50,000 pre-computed JSON donation. One JSON donation looks like that. We have a GUID, first name, last name, email, gender, a phone number, the IP address that created the donation, a country, an amount, and all the credit card information. By running multiple instances of this console application inside Docker containers, each using one of the 10 JSON files, I'm going to be able to simulate users on a website sending donation. The idea behind the exercise is to discover how many users can I support at the same time, and how long will it take to process the final result by tweaking my Kubernetes cluster configuration. The second application is a .NET Core REST API project named REST API Entrance, and the main controller is named Donation Controller. And here's the implementation of the HTTP posts with the verification of the GW bearer token on line 38. The URL of the endpoint looks like this. Once the JSON donation is received, we validate the data, we insert the machine name that received the donation, and we push the donation to an Azure queue. We will have multiple instances of the REST API process running behind a load balancer, and everything will be deployed using Kubernetes deployment and Kubernetes service concept. Finally, the third application is named Queue Processor. The Queue Processor is a .NET Core console application that reads one donation from the Azure queue, validate data, insert the machine name that processed the donation, change the donation process state to approve, and finally insert the donation into an Azure table. The processor also aggregates in memory for the last 500 donations the amount received per country. And then we repeat this process until the queue is empty. Using Kubernetes, we will deploy and run multiple instances of this console application. We are still building the code and pushing container images to Azure. For the 3 applications, I implemented a real-time notification system using Azure Service Bus publish subscribe concept. Every time a batch of 500 donations is sent, received, or processed, the application will publish a message to a system activity channel, aka topic, with the following: the total amount of donations sent, received, or processed, the donations sent, received, or processed per second, and for the Queue Processor application, it will also publish a table with the amounts processed per country. all this almost real-time information will be received by a web dashboard, server-side, which will massage and communicate the information to a React single-page application that will display the information in tables and charts inside of a browser.